Hello everyone, Bruce here at Red Raven Computing Studios, and I'm going to talk to you about basically foreign technical recruiters. Most of these people are in India, and so I'm talking from a perspective of someone living in the United States. Today is Saturday, July 11, 2020. Okay, given the current date, this would make some sense. So I have up here some emails I receive. I get hundreds of these um, from these individuals overseas. Not to mention, they call me all the time, and I'm going to discuss things. First thing is, I put them in this note so that I can remove names because I don't want these individuals to be harassed at all. But I need to clarify things. So I'm going to clarify the first part. So these individuals overseas, they have no clue what's going on in the United States. They don't even have a clue about the jobs and about the technology most of the time. Particularly right now, they have no clue about going in the United States. First off, I use dark mode when I read my email, and they always want to highlight this in this yellow. And as you can tell, this yellow, you can't read squat. So it's strain on the eyes. As soon as you get this email, it's just automatically just highlight everything yellow. However, I'm going to note these places. So this particular job, Seattle. This particular job, if you can read it, Minneapolis, Minnesota. This particular job is in Indiana, so that's a little different. And Seattle. Okay, so like I said, they have no clue. And when you ask them if they can make it remote, they'll say something given right now, oh, until COVID ends, then you go on site. Again, they have no clue what's going on in the United States. For those of you who've been living on the rock, I'm going to show you some things. So, news, Seattle, they just had Chaz. They're defunding their police by 50%, which means crime is going to go up in Seattle, and there's going to be a lot more serious problems. I mean, this happened when they had in June 29th, right? You know, their so-called Chop or Chaz. I mean, a boy was shot and killed, and you know, and they just practically trashed downtown Seattle during their whole Occupy protest or whatever. That's one thing. Pointing that out to give you context of what I'm talking about. So this one, Minneapolis, Minnesota riots, looting, destroying property, assaulting people. That's what's been going on there. You know, and Minneapolis too said they're going to defund their police. Again, what's going to happen? They're allowing this to happen, these protests and stuff, these crimes, and what's going to happen is basically more crime you're going to have. You're going to have more of this stuff going on because nothing's there to challenge it. No one there is to challenge it. So this is what's going on. This insanity. Again, St. Louis, rioting, violence, protests, and I do get emails saying they want me to move to St. Louis. Given what's going on, you know, with this type of chaos, this type of violence, why would anyone move there? Again, this is just the whole point. You probably heard about this. These guys, this mob invaded these people's property, and they came out to basically defend their property with firearms. And there's that gate. Now, these people are doing very well for themselves, but this guy, from what I understand, he's an attorney. So he has a better defense than most of us, who basically, when this happens to us and we have to defend ourselves, you know, we're going to be screwed. They're actually prosecuting these people for actually defending themselves in their property, given basically a mob that just invaded their house. So this is why one of the reasons I call it, they have no clue what's going on in the United States. They have no clue about the situation. They're just doing whatever their clients tell them to do, and they don't even push back. So when I ask, okay, can they make this job remote? Can they be flexible on this? I'm not moving to Seattle or any place like that because I have to think about other things, other people besides myself. In these things, and these places are turning into war zones, given the insanity what's going on. So that's the first thing. These people have no idea what they're talking about. And when you get to talking to them, again, when you start asking questions like, what is the project? They just rattle off keywords, whatever they show in here. They tell you nothing about the project, the goals that the company is trying to achieve, about the role, nothing like that. It's just rattling off keywords. Again, showing that they don't know anything. And again, and then some of the job descriptions are like ridiculous. Like this one, 10 to 16 years of experience in technology that has not even been around that long. I mean, maybe native iOS development, maybe native Android, but that's pushing it because I was one of the first groups of people to do iOS development, and outside of Apple, and that was in 2008. That's when I started. That's when Apple releases iOS SDK to third-party developers. Okay. But life happens, and obviously you're not going to be doing mobile iOS development since 2008 till now. I mean, if you have anything to do besides living in your parents' basement, because I can tell you what happened in 09. It was very difficult to make a living in 09, 08, 09, and 010 in the United States. So, yeah, you get this. And then they want both cross-platform and native, which they're mutually exclusive. I mean, Xcode is iOS using Swift or Objective-C, and then Android's Kotlin. And just another thing here is Kotlin was basically released for Android development about 3 years ago, and it was made official last year. And they want 5 years of Kotlin experience sometimes. It's insane. So number 2, they don't even know the technology, the length of this stuff. And number 3 is they always try to negotiate with you. The one things they will ask immediately when you talk to them, they'll say, "What's your rate?" They want you to basically go very, very low. So I will talk to them and I say, "Well, what's the company's budget?" And they'll just push on what's your rate. And then if I finally get something out of there, they'll say something like, "Oh, the company's only want me to move to Seattle or California and pay me like $30, $40 an hour on a W-2 contract where I have to pay my own relocation and no benefits." And that's like getting screwed. Particularly in these areas, Seattle, California, this is a very high cost of living. That's not enough to live there, even if you want to go there. But right now, it's not even a good time to go there because of all the looting and rioting, and these people need to basically get their act together. So because of how they behave, because of all this information, I simply now refuse to deal with these people. They keep sending me emails and keep doing these things, but like I said, when they send me stuff like this and don't even know what's going on, I don't trust them. I have no faith in them. I have no trust in them. I've been trying to apply through jobs with them. Never got anything through them at all. I mean, years. And yeah, contracts or anything. It's basically they're dealing with these people is a big waste of your time. These are basically the foreign tech recruiters that are overseas in India, mostly, maybe Bangladesh, somewhere over there. And like I said, they don't know the technology. They don't know what's the environment in the United States. They don't even have direct communication with the client. So you apply with them, they'll make you fill out a rubric and stuff. They don't push back on the client. There is no feedback from their client. Nothing. It's just like they just take it or leave it, and then they just try to basically screw you over when they're trying to get you the job, like want to really underpay you and stuff like that. So I do not trust them anymore, and I would suggest that all of you who are watching this and stuff don't trust them as well. I mean, unless you want to deal with something like this, places like this where there is just no law and order, people getting shot, things like that. I mean, seriously, like, this type of stuff is just insane, this is what's happening in the United States right now, and them not knowing this, and being basically whatever their client says, not pushing back, is not beneficial to you as a candidate. going up there. I mean, a lot, you know, and they want to pay you basically next to nothing. They're treating these jobs like in these regions and stuff like that like it's over there. They're treating the pay scale and everything like it's over there, and it's different. United States is different than India. There's you can't compare the two. They're just different environments, and they're treating the United States like it is there. And like I said, the places they want you to go, the pay that they do, the type of like maneuvering jankiness that they're trying to do. They're trying to like negotiate with you as a so-called recruiter, and like you apply for them, and get basically in a black hole, and you'll never hear back anything anyways. And it's just like I said, waste of time. I would not deal with these. I mean, they flood your inbox when you apply for jobs and stuff like that, and these guys. This is basically their joke to the technical recruiting because they can't even do that. Like there's like three things that a technical recruiter needs to know. One is have basic knowledge of stuff of the technologies or how things are put together. Yeah, that's just because so they can't get hoodwinked because there's like tons of fake candidates out there, people who apply who don't have any knowledge, and there's a lot of janky stuff that goes on. The recruiter also definitely needs to know the hiring manager or the client well to be able to communicate. And three, the recruiter needs to get paid based on how high the salary or how the pay you will get paid. So if the recruiter has an incentive to basically find you a job, and the more money they can get you for that job, the more money they get, that's a good incentive for them that they will actually push you at the highest rate possible, which will give you that. And they would, and these recruiters who are in the United States would know about the problems in Seattle, would know about the problems in Minneapolis and St. Louis and stuff like that, and would probably be open to talk to you about it, and you'd be able to push back, and they would understand the situation, given the situation. But these guys that are overseas, they don't know anything. Like I said, I've been dealing with them for a while. I gave them plenty of chances on my end, and I've gotten nowhere with them. And so I'm warning all of you guys out there that these people are not worth dealing with. It's best that we basically in the United States don't deal with these recruiters over there, and let them basically starve to death from business, because it's what's needed to actually get basically this recruitment stuff back in order in the United States. Is we just don't give them the opportunities to place us because they won't do anything, and they'll do crappy things like this. So there's gotta be a squeeze on them on this. This has got to end. But I'm just bringing this up to everybody because this is nonsense. And like I said, these guys don't know anything about what's going on in the country, about these areas they're recruiting for, about the tech stack, about the projects. They don't even have, a lot of these guys don't even have direct contact with a client. Like I said, they're overseas, and like I said, if there was one thing, if they have direct contact with the client, they know what's going on, and they know the technology and stuff. But like I said, I've dealt with them long enough that I realize it's just going in circles. So hopefully this stuff helped you guys to avoid this pitfall and traps that you'll be seeing from these guys, and that you can eventually have better job hunting in the future. So everyone, have a good one and good luck.